And we are back. Thanks for clicking on the link. Welcome to Good Energy. Enjoy the content, and everyone have a blessed day. And we are back. Thanks for clicking on the channel. Welcome to Good Energy, where we talk tennis. If you follow the channel, you know every pick I've been giving out lately is winning. And historically, 8 out of 10 of the picks I give out win. So we're doing well and we're doing what we do. Thanks for helping us reach over 100,000 views this week as we grow the channel. I do have a studio, and once I get the live streaming situation set up, then we can do some live video, and you guys can tune in and chime in and call in as we get things set up for the near future. But let's take a look at today's matches. First, let's start with Mertens in golf. Coco Golf is finally putting it together. What she did today against Elise Mertens was really, really phenomenal. The first set was really tough, and all the ladies did early on was exchange breaks. It was really popcorn worthy. Once Golf finally made the proper adjustment, the second set was a blowout. And I feel Golf is doing a great job of that lately. And this is the best tennis I've seen her play. I would tell you guys to watch out. She means business. Leylah Fernandez versus Amanda Anisimova. This is a match we knew would play out the way it did. Amanda Anisimova, she's a front runner. She starts off strong, but if you can break her, she really breaks. She wears her confidence on her sleeve, and then she gets a little bit rude, kind of like a Sabalenka. She can be rude and very disrespectful. Sasnovich, she went down to Martina. Martina's playing very, very well, guys. You need to watch out for her. She's left-handed, she's short, she's strong, she's fast, and she plays her best tennis on clay. The first free underdog pick I gave you was to take Martina over Sasnovich. And the last match, Sloane Stephens over Jill Teichmann. A lot of people thought that was a surprise, but the reality here is Sloane Stephens is accomplished. Jill Teichmann has not really done much on tour. She's a consistent 30 to 40 ranked player. She can get out of the first, second, and maybe third round, but other than that, she's athletic. She really doesn't have the experience that Sloane Stephens has, and she doesn't have the arsenal Sloane Stephens has. So Sloane Stephens a 2-1 underdog, Leylah Fernandez a 2-1 underdog, Martina an underdog, and Coco Golf was the only favorite. Perfect day, guys. But let's get right into some more picks and let's do it. First match we're going to cover, Iga versus Zhang, and let's be honest, this Iga's a 20-1 favorite in this match. I think that's really disrespectful for Zhang. Zhang, we know, as you guys heard the story I told you, when the pandemic first started, Zhang was driving around Europe in her car to play these tournaments, and it's all clay surfaces for the matches she was entering in. Zhang is pretty experienced on clay, and in terms of Zhang, she's averaging nearly six, seven aces per game. 6 definitely. She's just under 7 aces per game. She's winning 71% of her service games, 28% of her return games. I feel if she is going to beat Iga, she's gonna have to break her for sure, of course. But her return stats are a little bit low compared to the lesser competition she's playing. But she's taking care of business, and I mean she's saving 62% of her break points, and she converts at a 35% rate. If she's going to beat Iga, she's got to convert at a 100% rate. There's no doubt about it. Iga, 77% of her service games, 55% of her return games. Iga breaks you. We know the numbers. When Iga wins the first set, I mean, listen, with this win streak she's on, all of the data has been completely rewritten. But historically, if Iga wins the first set, she wins 80% of those matches. If she loses the first set, then she starts to fold. But again, she's on a win streak, so you can't really, that old data from last year. She's a different player. She's a different person. She's saving 62% of her break points. She converts at a 53% clip on her break points. The last 10, Iga's undefeated. She's undefeated in her last 31 matches, rather. In terms of Zhang's playing her best tennis here at the French Open here. She split 5 of her last 10, but she's beat some heavy hitters. Elise Cornet, very experienced on clay. Simona Halep, very experienced, multiple slam champion. And she beats Inveska. She did beat Sloane Stephens at the Charleston Open. That's a match that I saw. She beat Zevon Reva as well. She lost to Leylah Fernandez. She lost to Kerber, Magda Linette, and Alexandrova and Muchova. All tough competition and all good players on clay, relatively. This is a match where it's 20-1, and the under is the total 17 games. Tease the total to 16 games and take the over. That's an official lock. I mean, you can get that at a 2.5 to 1 ratio. Over 16 games is the lock. And the reality is, I think it's very disrespectful to make her a 20-1 favorite. Quinn and Zhang's beat some tough competition. Hey, take the free 7 games on the spread as well. But the official lock, only one lock, is TZ over 16 games. Begu versus Jessica Pegula. All right, guys, this is a match here where Begu does own the head-to-head. However, I think right now Jessica Pegula is playing much, much better tennis, and you cannot ignore that, and you definitely can't overlook that. But if we take a look at what these ladies are producing and doing, Begu, she wins 68% of her service games, 33% of her return games, and I'm very interested in how players save their break points. That lets you know how they perform under pressure. Begu saves 55% of her break points. She converts 43% of her break point opportunities, which is pretty good. That's just pretty good. Begu, if you guys don't know, she's a very experienced clay player. She's very defensive, and she really puts the pressure on you to play aggressively while she's calm and composed. Jessica Pegula wins 70% of her service games this year. She's winning 37% of her return games, and she's saving 61% of her break points. It's very tough to break Jessica, and she converts at a 43% rate. These ladies, they've been very active, very, very active, and you can't overlook how active Jessica Pegula has been. If you guys watch the channel, I mean, Jessica Pegula has at least made it to, in terms of WTA 1000 events, she's at least made it to the quarterfinals, and 80% of the last 10 she's attended, 8 of them, she's made it to at least the quarterfinals. She's a winner. And most of them, she's made it to the semifinals. Pegula's won 8 of her last 10. She's beat Zaydenset, Catalina, Wang, Catalina twice actually, Samsonova, Teichmann, Sharibas Turmo, Bianca Andreescu. She's lost to Jabeur and Sabalenka, two great opponents. If you're going to lose to them, hey, why not lose to 2 top 10 opponents? Begu also, she's won 7 of her last 10. Some of the notable wins: Alexandrova, she did lose to Bincic. She lost to Linette and Jabeur as well. This is a match here where, even though Begu owns the head-to-head, I think Pegula is playing too much. You can't ignore the history of how she does at WTA 1000 events. She really gets up to play them, and I like Pegula on the money line. I'm pretty confident Pegula is going to change the tide and get her first win over Begu. And two more matches left here. I want to jump into the Daria Kasatkina match versus Camila Giorgi, and this is going to be a match I think that's going to be a little bit sloppy. Kasatkina does own the head-to-head. These two ladies did play in 2020, but however, Camila Giorgi started her best tennis at the end of 2021, excluding the year she had in 2013 when she made it to the quarterfinals of the US Open. But Daria Kasatkina, she wins 60% of her service games this year. She winning 47% of her return games. she's breaking opponents, and we've saw her take out some heavy hitters. So she can break you with her style of play, especially on clay. She saves 57% of her break points, and she converts 46% of her breakpoint opportunities when she has you up against the ropes. Camila Giorgi wins 63% of her service games, and to be honest with you, that's a sloppy number for her to be this deep in such a tournament, such a historic tournament. And she's winning 25% of her return games. Again, low numbers historically for someone to make it this far. She saves 44% of her break points. Again, under 50%, low number. She converts 42% of her break point opportunities. And these two ladies, again, Kasatkina does own the head-to-head. That was in 2020, a little bit older data, but Kasatkina's won 8 of her last 10 matches. We saw her beat Shelby Rogers here, Gomez. We saw her beat Stremkova. She's beat Teichmann, Badosa, Fernandez, Zedensek, Sakri. She's lost to Sarah Sweepers, Turmel, and Jabeur, 2 pretty good clay players. Giorgi's won 5 of her last 10. She split them. The big wins here, we saw her take out Zhang, Putintseva, and Sabalenka. Some of the losses in her last 10 were to Tomjanovic, Pegula, Garcia. And the reality here is these two ladies, in terms of clay, Kasatkina, 107 wins on clay. But she got the hang of it pretty quickly. She's pretty experienced on clay. Giorgi does have 144 wins on clay, but she's got 83 losses. Kasatkina's only got 42. Kasatkina wins 65% of her clay matches, while Giorgi, she literally splits them, so I'm surprised she's made it here this far. This is a matchup here where in terms of serve, Kasatkina's got the better serve placement. I think Kasatkina's got the better forehand. I think she's got Giorgi, I will say, has the better backhand. I think it's stronger, but the reality here is the forehand's going to dictate what you do on the court here, and I think Kasatkina's forehand is going to put her in the places and positions where if you watch Kasatkina play, when she gets that hop in her step, that spring, you know you're in trouble. And I think she's going to get it here with Giorgi. Not really much to analyze here. I don't see Giorgi beating Kasatkina. Kasatkina is not a Sabalenka. She doesn't make as many mistakes. She's more of a sound player all around. She's composed. She doesn't get upset and frustrated and lose her cool. And I think her serve placement is going to set her up to win these rallies. Kasatkina can be a rally player, and it's a recipe for disaster. Sabalenka versus Giorgi is fireworks. It's going back. You're waiting for mistakes. It's over totals. I like Kasatkina on the money line, and I'm pretty confident Kasatkina will beat Giorgi and send her home. And alright guys, the last match we're going to talk about today is between Madison Keys and Veronika Kudermetova. These two ladies have never played each other before. Madison Keys is having a really, really good run, and it's exciting to see Madison Keys back. Remember guys, Madison Keys has spent 7 years of her professional WTA career within the top 10. So she's got experience, and she's got talent. She's a very talented player. Madison Keys, however, she split 5 of her last 10. She's had a very, very good run here, taking out Kalinskaya, Garcia, and Rabinkina. The match against Rabinkina was an instant classic, going to a tiebreak in the 3rd set, where Madison Keys just completely ran away with it. She has losses to Sakari, Belinda Bencic in her last 10, Kalinina, and Iga Swiatek. In terms of her opponent, Kudermetova she started off really great this year. She hit a roadblock once we hit the clay season, but nonetheless, she did make a finals where she lost to Popova. But Kudermetova, and then she had a 2-game slide against Badosa and Sasnovich, against tough players. If you're going to lose 2, might as well be tough players like that. But she's won 7 of her last 10. We saw her recently beat Paula Badosa, which is a huge win. Paula Badosa had to retire, but nonetheless, Kudermetova, she's a pretty experienced clay player. She got the hang of it pretty quickly. For every 8 matches on clay, she wins 5 of them. She's going to be taking on Madison Keys on clay. The American women, clay is not huge in American, especially for American tennis players. For the ladies, we only have the Charleston event. So, but Madison, with that said, for every 7 matches on clay, she wins 4 of them. And so far this clay season, she's 4-3. And if you take a look at Madison Keys, she's one of the hardest servers on tour. She has a very, very good service game. She wins 78% of her first serves, and she wins 30% of her return game. She saves 58% of her break points, and when she has an opportunity to break opponents, she converts at a 37% rate. Madison Keys averages 6 aces per match, and that's very, very good. She's going to be taking on Veronika Kudermetova, who averages just under 6 aces per match. A lot of people forget, but just last year, Kudermetova led. She was in the top 3 on aces on tour. So Veronika Kudermetova has a very powerful serve, and last year, with a full year's body of work, she was the better server than Madison Keys. Kudermetova is winning 75% of her service games this year, 28% of her return games. When she has the opportunity to break opponents, she's doing that. She's breaking opponents at a 44% rate, and she's going to have to do that here with Madison Keys. All right, here's something people don't realize. They don't realize Veronika Kudermetova has power. She's got a small frame, but not only does she have power, she's great at serving the ball. She's left-handed, and this, in my opinion, creates a recipe for disaster for Madison Keys. Madison Keys is one of my favorite players. I followed Madison Keys, you're playing someone that's 3 inches shorter than you, someone that's more athletic than you, and although they have Veronika Kudermetova listed as right-handed, she's left-handed. It's clear she's left-handed, but the reality, I don't know if that's gamesmanship, kind of like watching the NBA, how, you have a game 7 between Boston and Miami, and half of Miami's teams on the injury report, when they all end up playing anyway. But nonetheless, go Boston Celtics. I gave that free lockout to a lot of my friends and Patreons. Enjoy. But Madison Keys, she's going to be playing someone that's shorter than her, more athletic than her, and has a better serve than her, makes less double faults than her, and someone that right now I think has the better backhands down the line. Strong backhands coming from someone as athletic as Kudermetova, it's going to lead Madison Keys to hit long with her forehand. Her forehand can be sporadic at times. It can be very shaky. Playing someone like Rabinkina, it's a good matchup because the athletic comparison is a lot more equal than someone like Kudermetova. And this is a lot, guys. Take this to the bank. Take Kudermetova to win the first set. I think she's just going to come out. Kudermetova starts off really good. She's a fast starter. And I think Madison Keys is going to take some time. She's going to need some time to adjust to Kudermetova. So I like Kudermetova to win the first set. That's a lock. And those are the picks today, guys. Thanks for watching the video. As you notice, we've been on a tear with picks, and we have some great matches coming up. We're going to see if Iga can take out Venus in terms of the record. Unbelievable. And I'm not sure if you guys have been able to see a prime Serena Williams. There's plenty of YouTube photos. You can Google it and search it there. But Serena Williams in her prime, younger, I'm talking like 10, 15 years ago, she was like a combination of a Bianca Andreescu, Emma Raducanu, and Iga Swiatek all in one. Just too much to deal with. And I don't know what she's doing now. I know she's got the movie thing going on. She's got a lot of products, and she's on like every other commercial on the tennis channel. But hopefully, once she heals, she'll be back, her and Venus for that matter. And if anyone's ever had the chance to see Venus play, I mean, this was the start of her 35 win streak. But the reality here is, if you had the chance to see Venus play in her prime, she was something else. Just her net play being so tall and her athletic ability, being able to cover the court, and her forehand was just so wide and long. It was like a combination of Iga's and Sakkari's, and where she just lures you in thinking she's gonna, just hit it angled to the left, and then she just comes down the middle with it. It's just, You just have to watch it. It's just greatness. It's so tough to explain. Just watch her style. It's so versatile, and she was just so well-rounded. Venus was amazing, and Iga Swiatek has a chance to make history. We will see if she can do it. This has been Good Energy, guys. We are